Good evening, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Patricia Williams. For those that don't know me, how many of you all married, have been married, or planning on getting married? We're going to be discussing today the topic of marriage. We're going to discuss the negative side of being married and the positive side of being married. We also going to discuss what effects that a marriage would have on an individual or on a family. There are some negative. I'm gonna talk about the negative first in a marriage, where there'll be like there's negative side, divorces, separation, a spouse may die, or maybe even in a relationship where you just grow apart from one another. The positive side of that is where you're in a marriage would be you value one another. You tend to have security with one another, and you grow old with one another in a marriage. There is no such thing as a perfect marriage. There are times when you have to give more of yourself in any given relationship. You have to be able to recognize and realize that the individual that you are in this relationship with is the opposite of you. So therefore you have to make some adjustments in your life, with being married. I talked about the negative and the positive. Let's talk about my marriage and the effects that it has had on me. The impact was maturity. We grew together with one another. We learned to respect one another. We learned to appreciate one another. And security, we have learned, even in that, a marriage needs to be secure. I have some type of security with one another. We are also, now that we are in our 29 years of being married, are very happy with one another. But it wasn't always happy. We had some ups and we had some downs, but I must say, our good days outweighed our bad days. Now, the impact that a marriage would have on a family, opposed to being married and being divorced, is that when a family experiences divorce in a marriage, it tends to weigh heavily on the family. Most people really don't understand the impact that it has on, especially our children, our kids. It has a great impact upon our kids. So, in society today, there has been the rating for marriage has been very high, very high. Then you experience being unhappy. You're not happy in a relationship anymore. You're sad all the time, and I believe most not of that comes from one another. Now that we have talked about the negative and the positive side of being married, for me, it has taught me that there is no such thing as a perfect marriage. But there is a thing that's called a successful marriage, and that's when both parties in a relationship work together to make it work. You have to be willing to compromise in relationships in order for relationships to be successful. And if being married, you can do that, the divorce rates will eventually go down in marriages. So now that concludes my topic. Thank you guys for listening. Is there any questions?